Hello and welcome back to Desmin's Creek. Last time, the party continued their altercation with the guards who had harassed them on their way back to their hideout. Finishing the fight, so to say, the guards took to their heels and ran after twilight covered the area in darkness, which inadvertently gave the rest of them cover to escape by. The party then debated for a long while over going and hunting them down one by one, or simply cutting their losses and heading home, therein strategizing how to deal with the likely fallout of this. One saving grace, though, was that most of the guards who had fled had not been in a position to get a good look at whom they were. So that, I think, will factor into their planning. So now we rejoin the party as they have come to realize that the magic spheres that the guards all carry, clearly a technological advancement by the Archmage and her partner, give the guards some ability to become invisible. And this was likely used by our friend, whose name I totally know.
Nigel.
I was getting it off my list of names. Nigel. To escape the room that he had been left in. Again, it was long debated if the party would send Vulcan after Nigel, but ultimately they appeared to choose not to do that. So the party now, having killed, what was it, 3 guards? 1, 2, 3, yeah. Killed 3 guards and captured 1. Having the guard captain tied up and unconscious for the moment, having stolen her weapons, and especially the magic sphere, and a copy of her orders that she was apparently in violation of. The party is determining what to do. So, you are here in this tunnel. The other surviving guards have fled. They've had many, many minutes at this point to get away, either to escape the sewers, the underground, or flee deeper in, or lose themselves some other way, including Nigel, who supposedly went invisible and escaped while you were debating all of the horrible details. So, what are you doing?
First, can I ask to be actually let in? Because that still says I'm waiting on GM.
What?
That's better.
Could be spending as little additional time here, and Reggie points down, as possible, in case any of the guards are going to get any help.
I would agree with that.
I would as well.
How quickly can you work your...
Not quickly. We better bring him with us.
We should try to get it started as soon as possible.
I can't pick her up. I mean, I can try. It's not going to go well. I know that she's been made considerably lighter by the removal of the armor. Thank you for that. But I think she's still a little bit beyond my, you know,
I hope
Reggie
you-
flexes.
I hope that we're gonna leave her here.
Okay.
Yours truly also cannot do much in the way of heavy lifting.
I have so much shit to carry. I want all the gear.
You started this. The least you can do is help clean it up.
Can we fix the cart at least?
I think that is beyond my capabilities.
Vulcan will look at the shattered
What
remains
are
and
your
look at it.
capabilities?
Very minor mending. That's a bit more than minor.
I roll my eyes. Fine. I'll carry the bitch. But someone else would have to carry the shield. I'm not leaving that behind.
Then we'll grab the shield.
Okay. So you're taking this bound, disarmed guard captain and just sort of firemen carrying her over your shoulders. Morgan, while Desmin is grabbing the shield off the ground. There are, the three dead guards people with their respective equipment, which has been rifled. I want to know what its disposition is, however.
I have no clue.
What do you mean by
has-
disposition?
Did anyone who searched them take anything? And if so, what did they take?
Oh, Al had no part in looting the bodies.
Took the magic balls. Some at least.
If there are any of those magic spheres left, we'll make sure they get picked up. I don't know if anyone has already picked them up.
I think Vulcan just said that he got those, so.
Ah, I thought you said you got one. My bad.
I picked up a couple. I think somebody else was also picking up some.
Okay, so where are these things ending up? Vulcan, did you say you have a bag of holding? You had enchanted
I do
something?
have a bag of holding.
I've forgotten what you enchanted. I remember I described it last time.
I said it was just a pocket in my trench coat.
Right, the pocket of your trench coat. Okay. I think that is a reasonable infusion. So you're just literally stuffing these shields into the pocket of your trench coat, and it's stretching cartoonishly to allow them in. And then, going back to its normal shape. So, armor, weapons, shields. You take the shields, armor, and weapons. Are those staying with the body? And then what's happening with the body? So, armor and weapons. What's happening with that?
If no one carries it, I guess it will be left behind. I don't have.
That's what I'm trying to determine. I just want to know what is being left behind. What is staying here? How is it staying here? Are they going to just be left where they fell? Are you arranging them in any way? Are you destroying the bodies?
The rats will eat them.
That's morbid.
Morbid and not
With
very
enough people
reliable.
already having gotten away, there's not much the point to. The fact that we're not killing all of them means there's not any point to removing the jaws or the heads to prevent people from talking. So,
I mean, I will beg that question. Is that true? The ones that got away were ones that wouldn't have really identified you. The ones here would have been close enough fighting you to identify you.
They could be revived.
I mean, we let Nigel get away, and Nigel can identify us.
Yes, that is true.
And the captain, Desmin, doesn't want us to kill.
Right, but that's because something else is happening to Desmond, which would mean it would be her word against Nigel's in the future. I mean, I want to lay this out for you. The plan here is to go and get her story straight, utilizing Twilight's talents, so she will have a different story from Nigel. And if Nigel's the only one with a different story, that's one thing, but if he's backed up by a bunch of corpses who can't lie, that's a different story.
Fair enough.
Just want to make
Makes
sure that,
sense.
like, you guys are all smart enough. Your characters are all savvy enough and conniving enough to understand the implications here.
Okay. Then, yeah, Reggie will pull out a knife and say, just a minute. And then start removing their jaws, whistling a happy tune while he does it.
I imagine this isn't the first time we've seen this.
Probably not. I think after the last jaw is removed, he holds the jaw up to the corpse and says "oink oink," and then he cleans up blood and then drops the jaws into his bag.
Okay then.
Give him some Sweeney Todd vibes.
Desmond's just going to like put a hand on his shoulder and be like, at least you got to have a little fun.
To Vulcan, since Vulcan has not worked with Reggie before, he points back to the corpse and says, "Now they can't squeal."
Okay.
And Reggie starts heading away.
Oink. Oink.
He does seem happier than he was before doing that.
The group is a little twisted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Say that.
So, you have taken the shields, Vulcan. Weapons and armor are left behind. The corpses are left where they fell. And Reggie has not only removed, but collected their severed jaws, so you
don't
have...
want people putting them back.
Yeah, I got that. I am making sure that the party and the audience subsequently understand that this halfling has gone and delicately cut away the mandible from everybody, so you now have 3 corpses on the ground that you guys made dead, who now just have their tongues hanging out down their necks, where their jaws used to be.
You go to
Made it
Reggie's
easier on
house.
the rats.
You go to Reggie's house, and one of his rooms just has like wind chimes that are made from the jaws.
It's getting
I repeat,
real morbid.
It is fucked up.
No, he does not keep them. He destroys them very thoroughly.
Well, he's just eccentric.
You know, the bone meal, it's good for the roses.
But the room was going to be called the Speakeasy.
I mean, I'd keep them.
Everybody eating psychic damage, I guess.
So, Reggie might have a friend now who owns the Speakeasy. You're like, a Speakeasy? No, this is the Speakeasy, which he does supply
Jaws too.
Jaws to.
I want to imagine that, like, the Speakeasy has a little side room there that is a more, for lack of a better term, a crematorium. To chip and burn bones.
Oh, man.
So yeah, I guess, Desmond, you can have an extra, inspiration for tonight. That was a good one.
For creating that monstrous charnel house / bar.
Yep. It caters to a very specific clientele.
And business is booming.
We're gonna have to come up with a name for your friend. I'll think on it. It's probably Seymour. Seymour feels like the name of a person who would run this kind of joint. Seymour's motto is Seymour sees less.
If you see something, no the fuck you didn't.
Okay. So, after a little bit of collecting all of these things, arranging yourselves such that you can begin to get home. Your wagon there destroyed, the rat upon it destroyed. I will remind Morgan, these guards who fled, they had been fighting rats just like yours prior to you arriving. There are dead rats, some more or less intact, over toward where the statue went missing. So I don't know exactly what purpose Morrigan wanted the rat for, but if she is still interested in having a rat, there is a way to have one.
No, she has a human instead.
Now she has a human instead. I'm more worried than I was before I asked the question, but we're moving on.
That makes 2 of us.
Okay. Then, yeah, you mount up, as it were, and begin making your way back through the tunnels, to the headquarters. It is along the way back to the headquarters. Yeah, sure, why not? Move you this way. Is along the way to the headquarters that you are going to become aware of movement nearby, the shuffling of several sets of feet, and around a corner up ahead of you, you're going to see 3 or 4 silhouettes appear as the hallway lights up around them, illuminating faces that are familiar to your characters. You recognize a small band of the tunnel rats, led by one of the tunnel rat alphas. A half-orc male that you all know as Grulthus, who, seems to be swaggering around this corner towards you, looking very, self-important, as a small gang of his cohort follows in his wake. He's got a, oversized club slung across one shoulder, hooked under the crook of his arm, very casually, as he calls out to you and says, "Hi, Syndicate."
Of all the fucking times.
Haven't been very quiet today, have you?
Are they ever?
I imagine that you guys are usually quiet enough. It isn't seemly to get into scrapes with the City Watch, but it makes me think perhaps you've got something valuable.
Nah, they were just assholes.
They wanted to pick a fight for no reason.
No, hardly want to pick a fight. Figure, you don't want to get into 2 fights in one day, and maybe you'll just let me have whatever fancy you got there.
There's no fancy here.
He's going to kind of... You're seeing him sweeping his eyes over the group. 19 a die.
Look, if you'll just leave us alone, I'll give you what's in this envelope. She'll like pull out of her like coat and hold up.
He's going to focus on the envelope for a moment, and you're going to see, a gear. The one gear he has turning in his head. But his eyes are going to stray away from the envelope after a moment, back to Morrigan. And you're going to see he's opened his mouth as if to say something, and it's just kind of hanging open for a moment. He says, "You didn't kill him and collect the bodies, did you?"
That's exactly what I did.
You just see, all his little goons behind him kind of get a little tense. They all start looking around really warily as he kind of tips his head to one side. You can hear a couple of his vertebrae cracking as he moves his head suddenly. Do you have a death wish or something today? Or perhaps you just wish to see this place burn?
Or perhaps we are not the ones that is tired of fighting.
Do
Test
you
me.
really need to antagonize everyone today?
Oh, I'm in a good mood.
All of the confidence has flowed out of Grolthus at this point. He's, to the point that, he lowered his arm and the club handle under the crook of his elbow, kind of sprung out, and he snatched it and is sort of leaning on it like a cane. And he's staring not at you, sort of at the ground, like he's really trying to process this. All the people behind him look extremely nervous. He says, "I think we've got other affairs to get in order today, actually. Maybe we'll fuck with you another day, Syndicate."
Wise choice.
He's going to whistle over his shoulder. The other goons behind him are going to straighten up and begin retreating around the corner as he tries to act casually, backing up toward the corner they rounded. And he says, "I don't know what's got into your heads today, but you all better hope that it doesn't come back to bite the rest of us. We've been trying to steal your top spot a long time, Syndicate, and this would be a hell of a way to take it, only to immediately lose it." With that ominous statement, he is going to tap the club against the ground a few times as if trying to figure out if he wants to say anything more, deciding better of it, spinning on his heel and disappearing around the corner.
Easy as that.
You are able to return to the headquarters without any further interruptions. So, you return, more or less unscathed. Whoops, wrong tiefling. There we go. So, you have the payment in your pocket, in the bag of holding. You have several city guard shields in the bag of holding. You have a body slung over Morrigan's shoulders. And you return to the headquarters as, people are mostly going about normal day-to-day syndicate activities, moving goods here or there, relaying messages. There's a lot of, people who are off-duty, just hanging out, eating, drinking, the like, mostly in the designated areas like the bar. As you return, people tend to stay quiet and move out of your way. You guys are kind of the big dogs around, so mostly people don't come up and give you orders. But a couple people are going to take note of the body that Morrigan is carrying across her shoulders, and look incredibly quizzical, if not terrified. And one or two of those you're going to see, notice it, gasp, and then disappear into the bowels of the headquarters. They are likely informing people above them that something has gone on. So,
I expect that you should start working. We'll have a conversation.
So to make sure I understood that correctly, so there's others outside of, Syndicate members in the HQ area?
No.
Okay.
These are all Syndicate members. The Syndicate is just a large organization.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of people here. They all know who you are. You probably know most of their names. It is large, so you're not expected to know everybody. The point here is that there's a lot of moving pieces for the Syndicate to stay in business. These are all people doing the more mundane day-to-day stuff of, inventory tracking and just moving things around, preparing them for missions like yours. Whereas you guys are the ones who kind of are the handshake to the rest of the world. You go out and deliver goods, find people, send messages to competition. And so these are the support staff, basically, are running around doing these things, and they're noticing your return, and, their support. So often they'll try to help you with things, or, take over. If you've brought something back, they're going to collect it to move it to where it needs to go next. And at this point, as you've come back with seemingly the body of a guardsman, they are not coming and helping you, and several of them are moving off to perhaps, report on this to higher up.
Is the body identifiable as a guards person?
Well, you had mentioned removing the armor, but the armor was not actually able to be removed because the body wasn't looted until after it was tied up.
Oh, okay.
Unless somebody wanted to go through and untie it.
I started looting before she got tied up.
You try to remove the armor until after that.
It is my understanding that she is wearing her armor. Everything else was taken.
I said I was going to remove it.
Right, and I told you last session that she was tied up, so that was going to be difficult.
I don't remember that. Okay.
Tying did happen, I believe, during initiative prior to the looting being able to be done, so. take it up with Al, I suppose. She was the one who tied up the person. I guess just tell me this. Would you have untied them to remove the armor and then tied them back up? Elisa. Would
No,
you
I
have...
thought you said Al.
Al was the one who tied them up. Now I am asking you, would you have undone Al's knots to get the armor off and then had her either tied her back up yourself or had Al do it?
I would have wanted to untie, yeah, because my plan was originally to, leave her naked so she would wake up naked in the tunnel, because that would be funny to me.
Right, I do remember that was your plan, which is why I had mentioned that she was being tied up, which was going to make it difficult. And now the body's with you, so...
Yeah. But yeah, I would have wanted to tie her up, but I didn't get far enough to take off the clothes underneath.
Right. So she's wearing
That's
clothing.
That's how I remember the conversation. Is that you asked if I wanted to remove the things underneath, but I said that I didn't get that far.
Right. Yes. A lot of things happened out of order last time, and that's my fault. Anyway, so in that case, you have her clothing somewhere. She is, or her armor somewhere. She is wearing the things you wear beneath armor. But it still appears that you're carrying a trussed-up body, and people are still not comfortable. So the support staff is not approaching you. All of this just to say, what do you want to do now that you are here? You have the prize for your mission. Normally you report to the Tiger's Eye, but you have this body as somewhat of a complication. What do you want to do? Do you still want to go to the Tiger's Eye? Do you want to deal with the body first? And I know that they are not dead, but I keep referring to them as a body.
Yeah, dealing with the god first, I think it's the likely thing to do.
Okay.
Because we need Twilight to do her thing.
Right. So, Twilight, you're going to have to tell me what you have the party do with this body so that you can do your thing.
Since we've come all the way back to HQ with it, at this point, just have them drop it off in my room. If one of them wants to stay behind and wait outside the door, they can. But there's nothing they can do to help. So it's my recommendation that they go make the report while I try and get this done.
Alright, you good with that, Morgan, since you're the one carrying the body?
Yeah.
Alright. Then you will deliver the body to Twilight's room, along with Twilight, and then you are going to wait there, or you are going to rejoin the party for the Tiger's Eye meeting?
I'm gonna rejoin the party.
Okay.
Make
This
sure
is
the
room over
room
here,
is
right?
making sure the room is secured though.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Just pretty sure on that. Two in there. We will return to you momentarily. Really do need to put we'll use that area for now. Oh, cool. Even if I select multiple of you, it still only teleports one person. What? Oh, there you are. as per you. Program. Making my life hard. We're gonna do it over here for today. I don't have anything nicer prepared at the moment. Alright. This. Okay. I know. All these things that I was like, I need to do that, I need to do that. Around to it. Let's see. Come on. Please. Why? Alright, that's I've forgotten about and is super annoying. Sometimes when you go to click on something in the menus, it highlights it and then unhighlights it while you are still hovering over it, and you have to find the very particular tiny little spot where you can still highlight it. Sure, this is a unique enough token for now, we'll use it. Alright. So. You are going to make your way to this room where, at this point, you know to find her. And you're going to find that she is, at her desk, going over stacks of papers, documents. You can see that behind her she's got, slates filled with, names and places and amounts as she's tracking, a bunch of different shipments and jobs. She looks more or less relaxed as she is scratching into a logbook as you enter. The guards outside this room let you through. Your team has rather special access to her. As the dark-skinned, black-haired woman looks up at you with her good eye and says, "And how did the job go?"
It went well for the most part. We did hit a snag after the completion of the job, however.
How big a snag, Desmin?
Rats.
Well, that was in the middle of the assignment, but we came across some guards who basically did not take no for an answer.
Are you far away from your mic, by the way, Alex? You just sound quieter than usual.
I'm about as normal as I usually am.
Okay. She's going to look concerned at this and is tapping the quill against the page she had been working on. And when these guards refused to say no to you, what happened to them?
Some of them met a grave end, and some of them escaped.
She is going to let the quill fall flat onto the page as she leans back in her comfortable-looking leather skinned chair, folding her arms across her chest and regarding you. You know this disappointed look.
You're kind of missing a lot of vital points there, Desmin.
I was going to get to that. On the bright side, the ones who escaped should not be able to identify us.
Not the part I was thinking about. The guards initiated it. We would just pass them by. They were guarding this statue. Well, where the statue was supposed to be, but the statue's gone, by the way. Didn't know if you knew that. They had fought rats too, and they blamed us for it. And they tried to explain we were not involved with the rats appearing. And the guard just started shit-talking us, and I wouldn't have it.
Things...
And we found on the guard captain piece of paper saying that they were not supposed to interact with anyone in the tunnel, so they broke orders.
She's rubbing at one eyebrow, and she simply, without looking at you, holds a hand forward, fingers splayed, as if expecting you to put something in it.
Give it to Desmond.
Yeah, well, Desmond walks forward and gives her the assignment sheet.
She's going to, grasp it in her fingers and pull it back to her. She, takes kind of one look at it, then looks up at you. You see this expression of... We're going to have to come up with one hell of an alibi here. Before she returns her gaze to the sheet, and you can see her scrolling over it. After a minute of her going over it and then going over it a second time, she's going to look back at Morrigan and say, "So these guards, they stopped you and tried to implicate that you were part of a problem?"
Yes. And then she picked a fight. They wanted to arrest us for nothing.
I mean, we could push that it was circumstantial evidence at best. But which is I really cannot stress this enough. It is a very delicate time with the city above. We cannot be picking fights, and especially killing their guards right now.
I tried to be non-lethal, but they all kind of swamped me.
Al would
Is it
glare
Rob-
at
is it-
Morgan
is-
when she says that she was trying to be non-lethal.
Well, it was your team can over there that went all kill mode.
I was attacked. I responded in kind. There was no directive not to kill.
I mean, the directive came at the beginning of the mission.
We'll
has
work
a
on that.
point.
Vulcan, are you injured?
Only minor damage.
You can repair it?
Yes, it'll be fine.
Good. Morrigan, same question.
I was bitten by a rat and nearly pummeled to death by guards, but I'm standing.
Well, you look dreadful. I want you to see the doctors.
She shrugs. Fine.
Desmin, I imagine that this is going to cause a stir, and that I will be expected to have a very unpleasant conversation in the next few days. Yes, probably two at the most. So, I'm going to have to give you just short missions until then to make sure that you aren't far from hand when that happens, because you're going to have to accompany me for that conversation. You and your team.
That is understandable.
That was dreadful.
I imagine it will be dreadful. But we cannot lose our protected position with the city. And if they start suspecting that we are killing their guards, even if they are correct, it will be very bad for us very quickly.
Has it been announced that we have the captain?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Alright, well, Desmond's going to throw that bit of knowledge towards her as well. We also came back with the captain unconscious in tow.
I am glad you saw fit to inform me. I would not have wanted to ask you why you had kept it from me.
Yes, we are hoping that Twilight can work her magic to help the captain with our alibi.
That will certainly make the conversation in a couple of days easier. If we can get that done quickly and return her.
I believe she has already headed off to get started.
The area where this altercation took place? You know where it is?
Yeah.
I will send its cleanup crew. How many?
3.
3.
And lots of rats.
The rats... The rats, we can make a team effort. Let the tunnel rats earn their name. But we don't need anyone else knowing about this if we can avoid it. How long ago was this?
25-ish minutes, 15 at minimum.
Alright.
And it was right by the statue of, Reggie pauses for a second. And then, like, snaps his finger like it finally came to him. Varden Trask. Well, the former location of the statue of... He pauses, Trask.
Yeah, there is this moment, as you know, you come slowly to this word and say it to her, that there is no recognition in her eyes as you say this name. And this is followed by a moment of confusion before her eyebrows rise. She says, "Ah, yes, of course."
The statue is missing, which is why they were there. So I want to talk to some people about that, but that's a little beside the point. But that's where it was.
Very good. If you
Also, though...
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Though they did not seem to recognize her, we nearly had a run-in with the others.
The tunnel rats.
Tunnel rats.
Yes. They didn't seem to notice or really even pay it much mind. But just some food for thought more than anything.
When you say notice and pay it much mind, what are you referring to?
The guard captain over Morgan's shoulders.
Are you lying or are you misremembering?
Wait, am I misremembering?
Either one, perfectly fine. But I want to make sure that if what...
No, I think Ari's misremembering more than anything. My bad.
They were scared shitless.
Yeah.
About the fact that we told them we killed a guard,
And then you were holding
They
a
didn't check
body.
if this body was a corpse or not. They just believed Morrigan when she said, "Yeah, it's dead." And then they were like, "Shit, we're gonna die." Not from all of y'all, but from everyone up there. And then they ran. That's what happened there.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah,
didn't want to start a fight. I figured it was easy
Yeah, no,
to scare them off.
Entirely fair to
I didn't
scare
wanna
them
start a
away,
fight.
but they think that we have killed guards and are parading around with their corpses because we've gone insane. That is what Al would be aware of what happened in that interaction.
Arya's retracting that former statement. But they didn't seem.
They didn't seem.
Are? Is it his internet connection or something?
I'm not sure.
Typing. So there might have been a Discord problem or something.
Alright, and Derek, I think at this point, since you were just getting... No, that's right, you are working your magic, so your character's gonna be not here for this scene. Headset glitching. Alright. So, Al relays some information about the interaction with the tunnel rats, but the takeaway, that the Tiger's Eye has is, great, so the tunnel rats already know. That complicates things. But it is a problem for later. First we focus on the city. Alright. You got the payment, you said, Desmin.
Yeah, the mission before all of that went without a hitch, except for a weird disturbance of tons and tons of rats that seem to all run together in the tunnels.
Which we dealt with our new friends and
Yes.
made them look great doing so. I, Sam, cannot remember the guy's name.
Okay,
Avery?
Avery.
Avery, right?
Avery.
It was just
Okay.
Avery
Avery and Thought.
and Tharka.
Avery was on cloud 9. He managed to kill 2 of the fuckers. He had a little help, but he doesn't need to know that.
Alright. Well, that is good news at least. She's going to tap a vacant spot on her desk between some stacks of documents. As if to say, put it here.
Desmond will pull out the sheets that he took notes on and the kind of like receipt for the transaction, and then he will go to Vulcan to hold out his hands, requesting the bag of what was it, platinum or
It was gold.
Gold.
2,500 gold pieces.
Which was written on the receipt.
It was written on? Was that what you said?
It was
Yeah,
recorded on the receipt.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah,
recorded.
yes.
Yeah, so she can see the number, and then the bag comes out.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'll put the bag next to the papers, assuming that Vulcan gave him the bag.
Yes, of course.
Very good. She's going to tug at the bag so that it comes open. There's going to be a clinking as a little waterfall of coins spills out onto the desk. And she's very quickly going to be click, 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 counting coins off. She's not counting the entire bag. But she quickly moves 7 stacks of 50 coins off to one side. Says, that is for the job.
Desmin will take the 50 coins and disperse it among the group that's there, and like keep the like leftover that was for because Twilight's not there, to give to her later.
So is it 7 stacks that equal 50 coins, or 7 stacks of 50 coins?
7 stacks of 50 coins each, basically each person being paid 50 gold.
Yeah.
Which is, 350 gold out of her 2,500 gold, so... Which was still 1,000 gold more than what she sold, was worth. So, she made out like a bandit, which Tiger's Eye always does. She is. Very well. Alright. This is a little bit of a mess, but I think we can at least clean up the worst of it for now. I'm going to send the team out to begin that process. I don't have anything else for you for the rest of the evening, but I imagine that we can have another job start bright and early tomorrow. I will be working out the details. Why don't you all clean up, get some rest. See the doctor, Morrigan?
And not.
That is an order, not a suggestion.
I'll get to it.
Oh, and Desmin, when Twilight finishes, have her see me. Tell her to bring our guest.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Alright, all of you are dismissed. Go drink whatever it is you do when I'm not paying you to do other things.
She gives a salute and then starts heading out. Not like a military salute, like a sure thing, boss kind of.
Gotcha. Alright.
After she dismisses the lot of us, could Al stay back for like a hot second?
I suppose so. Spider. I didn't address you much in this. Did your character have anything important to say? Like, want to know anything here? I want to make sure that you have a chance. I know that you weren't directly addressed for any questions, but I didn't know if you had anything you did want to contribute.
No, he was paying attention to what was going on.
Okay. Alright, just making sure that you had a chance. Alright, so the group will begin to clear out of the room.
And what time is it in the game?
I'm guessing that it's like early evening, maybe, 7 p.m.
Yeah, Spider's just going back to his room to eat and crash.
Okay.
I'm going to the medic.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan.
Reggie's gonna put an arm around Vulcan is the wrong word because of Vulcan's size compared to Reggie. And be like, have you ever
Reach up
done any
and cut
gardening?
one of his ass plates.
for some alchemy.
You want to help with some food?
I was going to work on something.
Yeah,
I
another
was
time.
almost done. I was working
I
on
look
it with
forward-
my father before I came.
I look forward to seeing what you make. And then Reggie starts heading over to his garden.
Okay. The room is quiet as Tiger's Eye continues to write in the log. You're not sure, for a moment, if she's realized that you're still there. But before you can even clear your throat to try and announce yourself, she's going to say, "Yes, Al? What can I help you with? You have more
had
to
a few-
report?"
Not necessarily. More so an inquiry.
She continues writing for a moment before saying, "And what would your inquiry be?"
And forgive me if this wording is not the best, but is there anything further that I can be possibly doing for you? Could I for lack of better words, I guess, I have to repay an old friend, and I'm a little strapped for cash recently. Maybe
You want to earn more coin than what this job paid, is what you're telling me?
if there's any way possible.
Well, considering you and the team made the mess, I'd be willing to toss you a few more coins if you go and help make sure that my cleanup crew gets the job done and comes back in one piece, preferably without running afoul of any tunnel rats or more guards.
I can assure you none of the violence was on me, with the exception of, well, technically being the one to knock out the guard captain.
I would hope that when your team is under fire that you are not holding back because I said don't kill anyone. I'd prefer you come back and we have to clean up a few bodies than that you do not. One is significantly more expensive to deal with than the other.
The intent to kill was not immediately at the forefront of my mind because of everybody kind of not being exactly clear, but duly noted. I can definitely see to at least trying my best to make sure everybody comes back all in one piece on that.
Let us say that that is your job, Al, to make sure they come back in one piece. And, lo, they did. So, I am not as displeased with the efforts today. However, it would be nice if maybe on this next mission there is a little less bloodshed.
Understood. You know me, I don't usually hold my punches. I don't know. I felt like maybe spiting Morgan just a teeny tiny bit because she's the one that wanted her dead.
Are you trying to tell me that you had a problem with Morrigan today?
No, not at all. Nothing, at least, intentional. Her and I, didn't really get along at the beginning of the day, but, everything worked out in its favor.
I cannot make all of you be best friends, but it certainly would serve the purposes of this organization if you could work together without problems. And if it gets in the way of you making sure that the whole group comes back at the end of each job, then I would like you to find a way to put aside these differences.
I can assure you that I have been, in fact, at least making an attempt.
Let us pretend that I am paying you to be friends. We'll be friends. Friends
I
are
will try my
alive.
best.
That's the important thing. All right, Al?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so friends are what?
Well,
The answer is alive, Al. Friends are alive.
yes. Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Is there anything else? Or can I get back to my paperwork?
You're all set.
Very good.
Also, not to flatter too much, but you look beautiful today.
Flattery will get you nowhere with me, girl. Go have a drink and loosen up.
Damn it!
Nice try.
I have been at
I
this
try-
too many years for a silver tongue to loosen my lips or any of my lips. I think I broke Al.
No, I didn't hear what you had said. Headset decided to do the thing.
She has dismissed you.
I'm gonna make you up for me one way or another, she'd say teasingly, walking out, closing the door behind her gently.
I do not mix business with pleasure.
You might not now!
I am going
Since
to...
when?
You also got that boss-employee relationship going. That's not the greatest thing to do.
Don't count out my charisma, goddammit. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. For the record.
Are you?
I don't know. We'll see.
Al over there trying to fuck Boss
I have
Larry.
that follow through.
Guess we'll see.
Goodness gracious.
Anyway.
There's just an exasperated sigh echoing out of the room as the two guards make no eye contact with you as you pass between them and the doors close behind you. Alright, so you go to your various
What
activities.
just happened?
Hmm?
No, but I think I might have accidentally hit the thingy on my key, Syndicate that changes setup. So all my equipment just went black for a second.
Okay,
Nothing to worry about.
so you go to your various evening activities as you loosen up after the job and prepare yourselves for the next day, which will likely have a job to do. Morgan, you head to the medical officers there. There are several people on staff who specialize in treating wounds, in treating disease, making poultice, and other elixirs and things to help people recover, as well as one or two minor clerics, primarily of Arathis and Garl Glittergold. So they will see to your wounds. The fees for these types of services come out of your pay from these jobs, so they're going to charge you 5 gold.
I grumble and give them the coins. I already caused enough problems today. I'm not gonna cause anymore.
Don't shit where you eat.
And until I'm drunk.
Until you're drunk. Does that happen in short order?
Yeah, I'll go to the bar immediately after.
Okay. Are you also the bar's proprietor? I didn't know. I know that you put that in there, but I didn't know if you wanted Morrigan running it.
Nah.
Okay.
She's not running it, but she's usually there. So.
Okay.
She might have a tab.
You definitely. Everybody has a tab. She might just have the biggest one. All right.
They shouldn't have made it into a competition that one night. You know, as soon as they did.
Well, how much did we get from this?
50
By the
gold.
way? 50. Okay. And I lost. How much for this?
5 for the healing.
5. Okay, so 45 is what
Yeah.
I need to add.
And just imagine that, like, I've mulled over just having, like, all of your expenses and things absorbed as being part of the group, so things are just sort of, you get what you need. But I think it makes more sense to get paid out of jobs if you have to then use it to pay for the things you need. So, you gotta buy the alcohol, but it's gonna be cheap. Like, 5 gold for healing is a pretty decent price. It's expensive as far as things go, but it's low for kind of healing. But your alcohols, whatever you get, are gonna run, you know, a few copper up to a few silver. Like, you're not dropping gold on alcohol. Depending on what you're drinking, it's gonna be like 6 silver, right? Like, tops.
Probably gonna be beer now.
Bear? Oh,
Bear.
beer. Sorry.
I'm not
I was
drinking
like, she's
beer.
going and drinking naked? What?
Oh, that's kind of we thought of 3 different bears now, and the English is stupid.
Bjorn? Anyway, right. So, Spider, since I haven't heard enough from you, you said that you were going to your quarters, eating and preparing for bed. Is there anything special that I should know about as part of that ritual?
Not especially, no. It is just... He's got some stuff lying around. He's going to knock it back. And then he's just going to
Conk out.
flop onto the bed. Effectively.
Okay. Alright. Vulcan, you said that you were going to go work on a project.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Like a phosphorus grenade, essentially.
A
Fire grenade.
Terrifying. Now, is this specifically for light, or are you trying to burn people, like, with white phosphorus?
No, I'm trying to burn people.
Okay.
Jesus.
Terrible. So...
War crimes!
War crimes are great.
Hey, this is how they become war crimes.
You're gonna do the first one.
Nothing's a war
Get rid of
crime
some
until
now.
enough survivors have seen it.
I'm going to invent various war crimes.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He has to be
they
his
weren't crimes
best.
originally.
No, I said war cry.
Oh, war cry? I'm going to invent various unforgivable war crimes. Okay, so please roll me this alchemy, this fabrication, this attempt. I take it that you're using Vendar's stockpile to try and accomplish this?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna need a roll for this to try and create it now. It's gonna be hard. Let's go with DC 16 for now.
Can I add my proficiency, right?
Yeah. Probably should just make it 20 and be done with it, but maybe you'll get a grenade. A tryout.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Alright, what do you
A
got?
2, and then I got a 3.
You got a 2 and a 3. Well, I mean, hey, at least inspiration got you to go up.
A little 1.
Could have been a 2 and a 1. Okay. So you try several times throughout the night, mixing these chemicals, trying to refine the phosphorus and get it to exist in a solution where it's not oxidizing while you're packaging it. And you're having a lot of trouble doing this, like moving it from one container to another without touching oxygen. Eventually, and so you end up going through a lot of your supply, what you feel comfortable stealing from your father, before you finally realize like that you can transfer it in oil to keep the oxygen off of it, and then use heat after that to remove the oil. So you do learn how you want to start the next time so that you can make better progress, but you don't end up with any usable product for these several hours you spend on it.
That's good.
Progress was made, however. You figured out how to refine the phosphorus to a point where the moment it touches oxygen, it begins burning brightly, like you had to adjust your optical sensors so as not to burn them out for how bright the phosphorus was burning. So you feel very good about that. And you managed to drop a spark on the table, which burned all the way through it. There is now a very fine hole, blackened around the edges, all the way through one of your wooden tables.
I'll make a happy little robot sound.
Terrifying.
Happy robot noises intensify.
Terrifying, all of you. Alright. Reggie, you've gone to your garden.
Yep. He's just doing, little things there.
Well, help me humanize Reggie a little here. What are his favorite plants? How does he interact with his plants when he's doing the little things here?
Yeah, I think that Reggie's absolutely the kind of person that talks to the plants while he's. I think for the younger ones, he is talking through what he's doing and why, like you would if you were like trying to like help a child with like trying to understand what's going on. And I think he treats the like more full plants because I think that there are some that are like he's letting grow a bit more and all that, but he hasn't. That are almost there. I think the ones that are almost ready to be picked and cooked, he's talking about all of the kinds of things that he's going to make with them and the joy that it's going to bring to people.
All right, then. I think
that this is the kind of thing that he's like just very happily doing as he's and like I think that some of the time like when he's talking about like like roasting these carrots, he'll like lean closer towards those ones and like whisper it to not scare the newer plants.
The newer plants.
They don't need to hear that yet. They're still learning about the world and what like it means to be them. And these ones now they know what it means to fulfill their their whole purpose of existence.
True. You do have 3 somewhat bloody, messy mandibles in your bag. What are you going to do with those?
I think that while he's like tending to the garden, he does he cleans them like prestidigitation-wise, just to get... Because at this point, now, flesh is just
Sure.
grime, essentially. So he does just blow that all away with prestidigitation.
You cast prestidigitation, and the gooey bits slough away, dribbling like so much gelatin into the dirt.
Yeah. I think he's also doing this like towards the mushrooms because they
they
deserve
love
it
that.
the most. And I think that's I think that's all he's gonna do with those. It's basically just like an afterthought. Like he's reaching into his bag to grab other things to garden with, and he's like, "Oh, right," pulls it out, and then just like puts it back, not registering, not caring about the person that this was once attached to. And then he just says, now I gotta go see Seymour. It'll be good to catch up.
So
And then he puts it back in the bag.
you have 3 shiny white clean mandibles, some with more teeth than others, and one with a couple gold crowns among those teeth, just nestled in your bag.
Yep.
Oink, oink. Alright.
Before they became pigs.
Desmin, how does Desmin unwind for the evening?
Desmond is enjoys a nice wine while looking over forms and paperwork, like past paperwork. He likes looking over all of them and kind of making sure he has knowledge of.
And you wonder
stuff.
why Morgan makes fun of you.
I know exactly why Morgan makes fun of Desmond. Desmond, he's a little clueless.
All right then. Do you do this at your favorite, quiet spots in the deeper tunnels where the one of the irrigation channels runs across?
Yes.
Your own personal little thinking creek there.
Yep, Desmond's Creek.
All right.
Roll credits.
I'll be there for you. Wait, wrong show.
What? No, I don't want to wait.
Alright, Al. You've been
Hi.
thoroughly dismissed by the Tiger's Eye, who is actively rejecting your advances. And honestly, a lot of her statements are of the flavor of, why are you doing this? You're too old for me. Even though she is the middle-aged woman. She is younger than
Well,
you.
you're an elf, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, because I could tease her and that.
So,
I wasn't really trying to do anything.
lies.
Listen,
Lies and misrepresentations. What's that doing there?
You roll a deception.
That didn't be there.
anyway,
Oh,
carrying on.
Elisa, you didn't put tables in here yet. 8 tables.
Oh no, I haven't gotten time to work on that thing more. Sorry.
Throw a table.
Imagine the tables.
I'll just throw a couple in here for now. You can move them later. There we go. That'll do for now. Finish the rest later. So, after you go to the see the medics, they release you. You go to the bar. I believe you told me, Morgan.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long, as they have, good healing tonics and magic with which to heal. So, Al, what are you going to, after you are dismissed, are you going for a drink like some of the others did, or do you just retire? Al?
Thing. Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I don't.
You want a drink?
Probably not.
Oh.
Probably shouldn't.
Okay.
Like, I think she'd walk home.
Okay.
Unless anybody, needs her for anything.
Is home outside of the HQ?
Correct.
Okay. The rest of the party is aware of that? Or are they not?
I believe Desmond and Reggie are aware. I don't know if anyone else.
Okay. Alright. Then, you walk home. Morgan drinks alone. Desmond drinks alone while going over paperwork. And others see to themselves and go to sleep. I would like you all to go up to level 6.
Oh! Oh, so fancy.
I would also like to say that Desmond also goes over paperwork because he's looking for possible new business situations for the Syndicate.
Okay. That's reasonable. I can have you roll about that. Alright, let me check my notes while you guys level up.
How lovely. Earn.
There it is. Let's see here. I do like that. I had some pretty detailed notes on these sections, and that I'm amending them based on a party action, which is very fun, very interesting.
Ooh. We love it when he needs to adjust stuff just because actions of ours occurred.
So does Reggie take tongues or speak with plants?
I think speak with plants would be interesting based off the fact that he has a garden.
Do they let you speak with
It's
normal
okay.
plants, or does it let you speak like with magic plants?
It's like the speak with animals, so like it gives them some amount of intelligence so that they can answer questions.
Then sure, go with plants. Sounds neat.
I think it would be funny.
The planet is just gonna be like, oh, what the hell did it feed me?
Hello, small mushroom. I have a question for you.
You know, mushrooms are going to be like creepy and existential. They're cannibals, after all. Well, not cannibals, but people eaters.
Or better yet, a Venus flytrap. Name it Audrey, too. Anyone who gets that reference, I appreciate you.
You are the reason I get that reference.
Haha! Look at
sadly,
me!
I don't like flytrap related like references I could get is like the Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, that's the
That
name
is
of the planet.
exactly what I was referencing.
Oh, okay. It's just been too long since I watched it.
Oh, it's fine.
I mean, which would be like the 90s or 2000. So, you know,
All good.
well, 30 years is a long time.
Is there time for me to grab a drink, or should I stay put?
Grab a drink. I
No,
think people
you're
are still
never
leveling up.
allowed. I already did mine.
I think I'm changing heroism for cure wounds so that I have an actual healing spell.
That's smart. Meanwhile, my stats, I don't know how similar, but looking very, very similar to a certain other rogue that we all know and love.
And our...
Yeah.
Oh, that was just a guess.
Again, I don't know how similar, but God, looking at the additions to some of my rolls I now get, I'm like terrified. But at the same time, excited to stress test, quote unquote, I guess,
I
for lack thereof
think, I
better.
think I might be boring and just take ability score. Just boost my strength up.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with boring if it helps you fight better.
Oh yeah, you're a fighter, so you get more of the
Yeah, you get feats
ability
at
score improvements,
every
yeah,
second
yeah.
level.
Yep. Well, not
Yeah.
quite every second.
Not anymore.
Used to be
Yeah,
every
it's like
second.
4,
Less healer.
6, 8, 12, 14, 16, 19. So almost every second there.
Yeah, they skip 10. Rogues get your 1 from 10.
Yes, I might take a feat at 8 instead.
Yeah, ability score improvements are great.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I got for my first one. Earned it on my dex and my con.
That's what I did at 6 with the last fighter I played. Went up in strength and con.
Cannot speak on fighter. Have not played one
I
yet.
like fighters. I think they're great.
I think they're great too, don't get me wrong. I just have yet to actually sit down and decide, hey, I want to play a fighter.
I think the
I
last
just need
fighter
to
that I
settle what
played
my level
was
8 feat's gonna be. Since I'm only getting the one, so I gotta be choosy.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do for that level.
Hmm.
We'll find out.
Alright. So, Sam, did you finish your level up?
Yes.
Derek, you finished yours?
Yep.
Ari, you finished yours?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Alex, did you finish yours?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Jacob, did you finish going up to 6?
I just gotta do the health.
Okay. Thomas, 6.
Yeah.
All good.
Dun dun dun.
Sweet. And Elisa?
Still working on it, but it looks to be very simple. I don't get any new spells.
Okay.
Energy edge is on the like ability score improvement and like health, basically.
All right.
So
Then-
it looks to be pretty simple.
Alright, yeah. Then you two just let me know as soon as you're done. Give you a couple more minutes here.
Looks very good on the alpha upgrade though.
Whoa. Well, good thing I control Z'd. I thought I'd just accidentally hit the keyboard and added letters to my document. I was like, okay, just delete until it makes sense, and it said Ed watches. I'm like, I don't remember who Ed is, so why would there be a note? So I control Z and said like an entire 2 paragraphs comes back. I'm like, oh, I was highlighted. I didn't add
there
letters.
It
I
is.
replaced 2 paragraphs with 4 letters. And congratulations on your first level up.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
This is how it's going to work.
Finally have 3rd level spells.
This is how it's gonna work with the milestone system. Is basically I've set up a bunch of checkpoints throughout the story that I want to tell, and whenever we get to or close to one, I'll tell you to level up. That way we don't have to worry about experience or how many fights we've had or that kind of thing. It'll be more tied into the story. And it will help me keep things a little tighter so that we don't run for 10 years.
Again.
9's a good number to aim for.
9.5.
Baby steps. Maybe someday we can do an 8-year campaign. Alright. Anybody not done or not close enough that they don't want me to start talking?
I am good to continue on.
Right. Not hearing any objections. So, I'm going to start moving tokens. Keep them. Didn't think about it. The one drawback of having a... Oh, damn it. No, there is a bit that I did not do. Ha ha! Luckily we hadn't moved on yet. Technically. I apologize. That's on me. Twilight.
Hello.
I think we should probably take a quick step into the closet.
Works for me.
Ba-ba-ba-ba. Be right back. Hello.
Hello.
So, you have the prisoner. She is unarmed and unarmored, and unconscious when you begin. So, tell me about what Twilight is doing.
She's gonna make sure that anything potentially dangerous is not within arm's reach.
Yep.
that should still have something on her person, would get a pair of manacles so that there's at least one more thing on her that's not potentially breakable.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably get herself a drink as she starts to kind of just poke at the guard with her foot.
Until she wakes up.
More or less to encourage her to wake up a little faster.
Okay. So this does eventually work while you stand over her with a drink in your hand that is, half gone by the time she finally does, become conscious enough to groan at you and say stop.
She'll stop. Oh, good. You're awake. We need to have a conversation.
I don't have any conversations until I get breakfast.
We can do that. But we have to talk a little bit first.
Where am
You
I?
remember. You're in a safe place. Away from those nasty rats.
I doubt this is as safe as you'd like me to believe it is. What do you want?
As safe as you can hope for at the moment.
She's going to jangle her manacles and say, I'm going to do you the favor of assuming that these are to protect me.
In a manner of speaking. Couldn't be sure what state you'd wake up in.
Pissed off and hungover on your list?
At the very least pissed off.
Well,
Yeah, let's see about some of that food. Don't need more reasons for you to be cranky.
you're one of the bitches we pulled over.
One of the ones you harassed against orders, yes.
What do you know about my orders?
We checked them after we pulled you away from the rats that began attacking once you got knocked out.
She's
again.
going to, reach down for the pouch on her belt and realize she has neither the pouch nor her belt nor the rest of her armor. Sickos. What do you underground freaks want now? I don't have anything more to give you.
You have your knowledge. Give me that, and you'll be on your way with a full belly, and perhaps even a drink if you want.
You want a pat on the head while we're at it?
I don't, but perhaps you do. You certainly seem the type.
I don't know how to respond to that. Please don't touch me.
Now, I'm going to ask you some questions. You're going to answer them.
That seems backwards, but I'll play along.
What do you remember? And she's gonna get a little bit of food and bring it over to her while she asks the questions and waits for an answer.
I remember that you had a group of thugs from one of these freakish guilds and a cart full of explosives, and you set them off, which caused a bunch of rats to attack everybody in the tunnels, whom we had to protect for you. You're welcome. And then, you wouldn't cop to it.
That's because
And
it's
we
not
fought.
true. But you're not interested in the truth, and that's fine. I don't need you to be.
What happened to my squad?
Most of them are fine.
I don't like
Some
the
more
word
rats
most.
came along after you got knocked out again.
More
Not
rats?
all of them made it.
She's already proven that she doesn't, have any knowledge of what you all call yourselves, so saying sewer rats to her, you very
She's
quickly...
she's not trying to say sewer rats. She means the actual physical rats.
Oh, okay. She did assume that. Okay.
Because she's trying to, at the very least, not admit we killed them. Give
Mhm.
a plausible reason for a cleanup crew to actually use in case this doesn't go according to plan.
So more rats came and killed my people, but not yours? Convenient.
Well, as you might be able to tell from how we kicked your ass, we have more skill than you do. Didn't exactly go out of our way to protect them, but some of them were able to get away fine.
Sense.
Neither does you, assuming we have explosives, when all you saw was a cart, and then a cart with less on it.
Timing was pretty convenient.
Not for us. Also bearing some of those same wet rat burns, regardless.
Alright, so I've told you what I saw. How does that help me not be... She jangles the chain again. Manacled in a strange room with whoever you are. Tiefling.
We're getting... she's going to get out her book and start writing. Trying to more or less remove her memory of the incident.
Yes.
And in particular, trying to pull out that the cart was ever, like, full in the first place.
Mm-hmm. So you're trying to write down specific parts of the memory that you want to remove, leaving other parts in, so she's going to remember the group going by and perhaps harassing them, but not the contents of the cart.
Perhaps if Twilight can find a good way to do it. If not, then removal wholesale of who they are, so that at least he can't point or she can't point the finger. Is a
I think that there's
secondarily acceptable.
Yeah, I think that there's enough here that you can finagle some words to either remove the cart or obfuscate who she saw and harassed. Well, or harassed. And or harassed. Maybe she still harassed you, because I don't know how you're going to remove her memories of being escorted out of this place without doing all this again.
I mean, could just walk around, could knock her unconscious.
Could knock her unconscious. But Desmin is going to at some point come by and say that the Tiger's Eye wants to see you and your prisoner.
Alright, then...
Because that was the order I gave him.
Then she won't knock the guard out, and when Desmond comes by, she would want to ask if the Tiger's Eye left any details of whatever she's going to kind of like construct the narrative to be.
Yeah, if you remove the details of what she saw, and leave behind that they fought, then you can construct the missing pieces through conversation to attempt to convince her that she fought somebody else and you brought her back here for medical treatment or something like that. That would not be impossible. It'd be a roll, be hard, but you could do it. Something like that, I guess I would say.
Yeah, I think the general idea would be to kind of like have her in a daze, if possible, until we get to the Tiger's Eyes. We can kind of construct that narrative together in case she has.
Yeah, I think that's very
additional
reasonable. Yeah. Okay, so let's say that you do that. You have enough information from her to be able to tear it down to the point that an altercation happened, she was injured, and now she's here, and you're just kind of trying to make sure that she's not going to bring down the might of the city above on the Syndicate specifically. Does that sound like what you want?
Yes, she knows she can't like stop all of what's happening, but trying to minimize fallout and have there be at the very least conflicting stories so that it's not instant witch hunt.
Yeah. Alright, I mean, I'm not sure that it will absolutely stop any kind of witch hunt, but it's certainly going to help.
Yeah, speed bumps. I'm expecting more speed bumps than roadblocks.
Okay. Alright, then I think that kinda covers it, right?
I think so. Aside from having the conversation with. The
Right,
Tiger's
but I
Eye.
think I was gonna do that publicly. Is that alright with you?
All right. Sure.
I imagine that the Tiger's Eye is not. She understands, she knows what you do, she knows what you're useful for, but I imagine the details of the hows and the whys are known to nobody but you.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, pretty much no one outside the group knows what she does. And even people in the group and the Tiger's Eye don't know how she does.
Yeah, I don't think. No, yeah, exactly. Okay, so yeah. Alright, let's head back. Alright.
Hello.
I just had to get some details hammered out. Sorry. There was one small scene that I did not run that I still need to before I can move on to the next thing. So give me a moment to do that if this fucking thing will cooperate. There we go. Alright. Desmond. You remember that the Tiger's Eye had asked that you send Twilight and the prisoner up to see the Tiger's Eye when Twilight finished her work. So,
Yes.
I believe that you would check in on her or she would come find you to let you know that she'd gotten to the point where things were in a better place.
Yes, and in this instance, Desmond would also give Twilight her cut, and
Thank you.
yes, just make sure that everything is in order, Captain.
Are you going to return any of her equipment to her ahead of seeing the Tiger's Eye? Or are you going to leave her mostly stripped down to her underclothes?
I would likely leave her manacled, but undo the ropes and perhaps return some armor. That which can be put on with the manacles still there.
So mostly her helmet.
I mean, helmet and maybe some like the lower portion.
Okay,
But
fair enough. All right.
Raiken will, or not Raiken, Desmond will provide the sure shield that he had grabbed.
All right, so you're able to return, like, put back on her, like, the greaves and the sabatons, and her shield and helmet.
Wait. You give her back the shield and the sword?
That
Not
is a
the
good
sword.
question, and Morrigan took those.
Yeah. There's someone that's carried the shield, but I would have run away with it after leaving.
I mean, nobody said anything about taking the shield from Desmond. So
All right, so
Desmond
let's
still has the shield.
let's get our story straight here. So, if they want to start returning equipment to the guard, Morrigan, what do they have access to without hunting you down?
Armor.
Armor. Okay, so you
Yeah,
have the shield.
Pouches and everything in it, and the sword and shield she would have taken.
Yeah.
She wants to smelt down the sword and shield to make a new axe.
All right, so you have the sword and shield and everything from her pockets, with the exception of the orders, which were given to the Tiger's Eye. The armor is all that the rest of the party has access to.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. So you have the armor. The sword and shield are not around. And she is going to, as Twilight kind of tugs her by the manacle out of the room to go see the Tiger's Eye, she is going to look around, look to Desmond and Twilight back and forth and say, "Where's my weapon? My shield?" "Where's my money?"
I'm not there, so I can speak for myself. So.
I know. You have all of those things. I'm wondering what they say to her.
I do not have any of those items.
Convenient. Everybody around here just conveniently isn't the right person to talk to. Right. You wonder why you underground freaks have such a bad name upstairs.
Twilight, are you sure that you are finished with your task with her?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want me to thank you for tying me up before healing me? Thank you. This way I couldn't beat the shit out of myself while you were fixing my wounds. Kind.
Well, have fun with your meeting.
No.
Desmond's not even going to like listen to whatever she has to say afterwards. He's just leaving.
She's flipping you off. You, Twilight, take her to the Tiger's Eye? I've lost Twilight.
I was waiting for a response when I asked if
Maybe.
she
Derek, is your
didn't
mic
actually
working?
finish, but
Sorry, I forgot I was on push to talk. Gosh darn it. So, two things.
Okay.
One, Twilight's going to try and stealthily sign to Desmin. I can't fix asshole.
alright.
But out loud she'll say, "We're nearly there. Just need one more conversation with our friend upstairs."
All right. I think with the signing that Twilight gave, just makes it even more of a reason that Desmond did not stay to hear whatever the last bit the captain said. He's just like,
Yeah.
all right, well, I know this isn't going to be any different than what it has been these last couple minutes, so I'm just leaving.
Yeah, and that's why I thought I was still talking, because you said it directly in response to my thing that you couldn't hear.
Amazing. Best one half of a conversation we've ever had.
And so when she brings her into like the tiger's to the Tiger's Eye, I assume she knows some version of Thieves' Cant.
Yeah, of course.
Then, using that, she'd say, "I've brought you a bit of a blank slate, trying to shape this story."
She's going to look up from the paperwork as you're led into the door by her guards, and you're followed by this half-dressed guard captain. She blinks at you slowly as you say this to her, before she again sets aside the document she was looking at, turning it face down, folding her hands on the desk, and looking at the guard captain. She takes a breath before she says, "You're very lucky that my people found you when they did." You see her eyes cast to you. There is this kind of questioning look in them, like that, blank enough.
Yeah, she'll give like a subtle nod, but imagine it's still clear enough for her to pick it up.
The rest of your people, unfortunately,
They've
weren't.
probably done this song and dance before.
Some of your other soldiers weren't as lucky, but we were able to treat your wounds. We weren't able to get your name. The guard captain looking uncomfortable, especially, in the face of this older woman who's, I don't know, there's just this air of confidence about, even when she's questioning look in her eye, there was still more command in it than question, more, tell me that is the direction you want to go with this now, than, did I do that right?
Yes. I get it. Yeah.
And the guard captain is going to fidget, their manacles clinking before they kind of say out the side of their mouth, Ashara. She shifts her weight from foot to foot before straightening, assuming as much of a parade rest posture as she can with her hands bound in front of her, and saying more clearly, Ashara Irali, 3rd Precinct, Bulinar. Rank Captain. And Tiger's Eye is going to nod and say, Captain Irali, we wish to return you to your people. We just need to make sure that there is an understanding. As you know, things are already a bit tense between the top and the underground. I wouldn't want to make an international incident of this misunderstanding. Twilight, were all of the captain's effects returned to her?
Not quite all. Not all of them got picked up. A sword and shield are missing, and she's mentioned the gold pouch, but I did not personally see it. Could you tell me how much you lost?
25.
She says to the guard captain.
She's going to, kind of cast an almost scathing look at you before she says, 25 gold pieces. My week's pay. Yesterday was payday before they sent me down here.
She'll raise an eyebrow at that.
You want me to roll deception for you?
Sure.
Alright, roll me insight. Alright.
Well, it's a high number. Let me double check the bonus. $25.
22. You...
Thank goodness for expertise.
You scrutinize her face, looking for any twitch or hint that she's just made this number up and is trying to get a pay out of all of this. But as near as you can tell, everything in her expression, the way she holds her body, plus you just spent the last hour or two talking to her, so you've gotten a good read on the dips and rises of her voice. She seems to be sincere and demanding back what is hers.
Then, with that in mind, actually, let me check one thing real quick.
Lost you on the push to talk.
Sorry, I intend to give her some money. I just want to double check what the cost of a sword and shield are. Real quick, see if I want to cover that or just leave her hanging on that part. Equipment. Here it is. Armor and shields. So, shield. That's 10. That's expensive. How much is a basic longsword? Because that's what I assume. 15. So that would be literally double.
The whole pot for today's mission. You gonna give that to her?
I mean, so just question for setting. I imagine they don't, but do guards need to pay for their own equipment in any capacity, or does it get provided by the city?
I mean, in general, there's an armory that supplies them, but, their pay is kind of based on the idea that they're renting the equipment. So if they don't bring equipment back, they get docked pay to cover it.
Then, yes, I'll give him the 50. If the Tiger's Eye wants to reimburse me, she can. If not, I don't need the money this exact second. I'll make more later if we just don't get raided.
Okay, so you're going to give her 75 or straight up just 50?
50, because that's enough to cover her pay and enough to cover a sword and a shield.
Okay.
And that's most of what I have. I don't even have 75.
Alright, she's going to, cup her hands as you drop an entire stack of 50 coins into...
She'd more likely probably just take out the 15 that she's keeping and just give her the bag.
Alright, then she takes the bag and with her manacled hands, kind of opens it and then jangles it. And she looks up.
That should cover your pay and the lost pieces of equipment.
She's going to kind of roll her head to one side and side-eye you a moment before looking back at the Tiger's Eye and say, "We don't want you to feel you have been robbed. Thank you, Twilight.
Should just nod at that.
Is there something more that you need for us to come to this understanding?" And she's going to kind of hold this eye contact with the Tiger's Eye for a moment before saying, "Sword was a gift. Her Grace, Claire Evenhand, granted it to me upon my promotion. It's sort of hard to lose such a thing, not feel poorly after."
Twilight's gonna give a slight shrug to Tiger's Eye, just because that's what I can do. I'm
You're going to see the very slightest nod, very tiny.
Twilight would know where the sword is. I mean,
well, yeah, but she's not gonna just drive you, make you lose your prize.
okay, I
don't know where you are.
I just want to make it sure that you
but
do
also,
know.
if I've just paid her for the sword suddenly appearing after that is so ridiculously incriminating. It's not worth it.
Yes, and Tiger's Eye knows this. She nods at your shrug and says, "I am very sorry to hear of this loss, but we do not have it. We cannot return to you what we do not have. I do hope that it will turn up, in the next few days when you can revisit the site where you were attacked. But if whomever it was took it, there is little I can do to solve this problem for you. The most that we can do, we have treated your wounds. We have returned to you everything that we had to remove in order to do that. And my employee here has reimbursed you for the value of your lost goods in as far as their intrinsic metal value. What I need to understand, what I need to be certain of, is that we have this understanding that the Syndicate was not at fault for your grievous injury or loss of property, and that every effort will be made to express that we are not the enemies of the guard they would like to believe us to be. I think that we'll all just have better days if we can be quiet neighbors, not friends. But we leave each other alone, pass each other in the halls. Seems a reasonable request to me. But I do believe that your group can be on the lookout for any other guards harmed by this terrible incident. Make sure that they are returned in one piece to their commanding officers.
I'm certain we can do that.
Very good. The guard is going to be, again, shifting her weight from one foot to the other, kind of clinking lightly the gold in the bag before she says, I can let my command structure know that you helped me. I won't promise anything beyond that. Tiger's Eye is going to kind of rolls her head on her shoulders back and forth as she seems to think about this moment. She says, that is acceptable. I will have a team return you to where you were found, and you can make whatever arrangements you need to make. I think that I can handle these next steps from here. Twilight, thank you very much for your work.
You're welcome. She's gonna add in, please can't uncuff him?
I will take care of that when the time is right.
Perfect.
Yeah, she's just, in Thieves' Cant, she's gonna respond, I will take care of that when the time is right.
Alright.
And you will be dismissed.
If possible, she'll either double back after heading out with the captive, or stay as like their license. But either way, they're still looking to have a slight, little bit more conversation with Tiger's Eye, with the captive out of the room.
I think that we'll have to wait for the next day, because the Tiger's Eye plans to see this through tonight. And so the idea, she was dismissing you to leave the captive here.
Ah, okay. Then,
So
yeah,
she will be alone in the room with the captive. You imagine that they're going to have a little bit more to chat about, just to hammer out some fine details without taking up your time. And then another team will be gathered to return her.
Then I guess my question would be, would Twilight be aware that's likely what was going to happen when she came up here?
I mean, yeah, I guess so. It's not an unusual way for her to handle these things. You already did your job for today, so she's going to find some other team to handle the rest of this.
Then she's just going to try and pass a envelope note, something like that, to kind of give some of the details of like forgotten type thing. Like,
you can easily just place that on the desk as you're dismissed. That's not going to look suspicious.
Basically, just want to make sure that she has like as much information as she can to spin this story.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So yeah, Tiger's Eye, you're going to place that on the desk as she says you may go. You exchange a significant look with each other. She gets the message, and you see her reach out and take the envelope off the top of the desk.
Excellent.
Alright, so.
Hopefully get those cuffs back.
We skip on to the next day. Train.
She will go to Morgan and ask her not to do anything with the sword.
What do you mean, not do anything with it?
You said something about melting it down?
Yeah, so?
Well, with the trouble we're in, I imagine the best way we're going to have out of this is getting it onto someone else. And if someone else turns up with that very identifiable sword, we won't so much be the X.
Wait, you're saying it's valuable?
It's not valuable, it's identifiable. Which means it's valuable to us in making someone else take the blame for your sucker punch.
Hey, she started being mean.
Yes, but if you rise to every provocation, we're going to have the entire city on us. So please don't. While I know you are big and tough and can certainly take them, we can't take them all.
Fine.
Live your best life.
Well-
Melt that sword down.
Do you want me to dispose of it?
My request is to currently keep it until we can bring it to the attention of the Tiger's Eye, so that she can make the final call on whether or not we need to use it against one of our rivals, or if you can do with it as you please.
Don't like getting permission. Well, what about the shield?
Shield didn't get mentioned, so you're probably fine doing whatever you want with that. And please, just deal with it. I already had to cough up the entire pay of this job just to keep the guard quiet.
You have to pay?
That sword and shield are not cheap. And if we want them on our goods, want to be on our good side, they need to have not lost anything. And they've already lost people. Losing equipment on top of that is just going to make things harder.
But if you paid for it, why does she need the sword back? Won't she just be able to get a new one?
They have to pay for them. Look, it's a thing.
I don't get it.
I don't want the sword to give it back. I want the sword to frame someone else.
I think like that's a lot to ask a sword to do. They're not that smart.
It depends what curse is on it.
You don't have to. This certainly isn't an order, and I'm certainly not in charge of you. But it's my request that before you do anything with it, you bring it to her.
Fine. How much did you have to pay?
I had to pay 50. You don't have to worry about that. I'll make my money back one way or the other. My only ask is not to gripe about having to give up your trinket. If you do at all.
Morgan sighs as it takes out some coins from a pouch and put it on the table by you. That should be 50. I don't
She'll
need
raise
you
an
to
eye
cover
at
for
that,
me.
but she's not going to say no.
Alright. So, the next day, all of you reconvene in the headquarters, as is normal for your mornings, before going to receive orders from the Tiger's Eye as you are summoned once again, early. Tiger's Eye looks each of you up and down as you enter the room. She says, "First of all, I want to say that in the face of greatly adverse circumstances, I think you all performed admirably yesterday, as I would always expect of my number one team. Secondly, I would like to give you a job that should hopefully keep you out of contact with guards for the foreseeable future, because I do not trust that those bad sentiments are going to be abated quite yet."
Didn't Twilight do your magic?
Twilight performed her duties as she always does, and I think that we have come to an understanding with this Captain Ashara, and she was returned last night by the C team back to the place where she was abducted. The cleanup crew had already done its job. I'm sure she was curious where the other bodies went, but we had a story ready for that. I expect that I will be being contacted by the powers that be in this city, and I will have to have a yet unpleasant conversation in the next day or two. I expect that I will want to bring the lot of you with me to corroborate and explain the situation and express that we are contrite and working with the powers that be to maintain the peace between the underground and the toplands. I want to see all of you nodding those heads.
Twilight goes from nodding to nodding vigorously.
Good.
I think Reggie waits to nod until that prompt.
Now, on to today's order of businesses. Twilight. She's going to hold up a manila envelope.
Twilight will step forward.
She
Hold
holds
out a
this.
hand, not try and like take it, but reach out for it if it's meant to be given.
She places it in your hand so that you can take it.
I open it. Does it have paper or the coin?
Yeah, it's got 50 gold coins in it.
Alright, then she'll step back and hand it to Morgan.
There's going to be this moment of watching the exchange before she just shrugs and moves on to the next thing. Now then, this next job is not going to be easy, and it's not going to be as quick as I was hoping, but I can push out this conversation until you are returned. That being said, we wish to improve our relationship with the Underdark. We don't have a lot of contact with them, but we are the closest to them. So, unfortunately, that is why I am sending you, because this is going to send you into the in-between. You're the only ones I trust with that right now. Plus, B-Team has other problems to deal with that I think they are better suited to anyway. The assignment!
Have you been to the Underdark before?
I don't think that you've ever been put on a job that expected you to go there, but it is not a place that you would... It is reasonable that you could have been there at various times, either on your downtime or just as part of, like... Let me try to explain it this way. The tunnels around the city are largely a growing project. So there are lots of places where the tunnels are incomplete, or in several places, as they were digging through and putting up the stone to make them, the nice, clean, squarish tunnels that you see everywhere, broke through into the Underdark, and those kinds of places get cordoned off. So because of that, one, you do have places where you have direct access to the Underdark, and this results in two things. One, creatures from the Underdark sometimes get into the tunnels and become a problem for the residents here, and two, the holes into the Underdark also become very good places to meet with people from the Underdark more secretly. So they're kind of a double-edged sword. Places where the underground meets the Underdark are dangerous, but useful, if you will. There is a place in the lowest levels of the tunnels that the culture of the underground is to refer to as the in-between. This place is neither the official tunnels, nor is it technically the Underdark. It is a zone of very chaotic caverns. They are not filled with the normal mushrooms and critters of the Underdark. They are usually things that got broken into as tunnels were being dug, and they weren't positioned well. They hadn't been filled yet to really make the tunnels there. So they're just sort of this place where water tends to gather, and where there is not a semblance of order has not been given to it. So there's, the bases of root cellars, a lot of random stone, a lot of water, and very frequently critters that are neither from the surface nor from the Underdark, which is how they got the term the in-between, because they are kind of their own beast, and it is not clear if they are the way they are because of the tunnel construction project, or because there was this space above the Underdark but below the surface that was happened upon, or if some other force is influencing it to be like this. Right? So that is what is known to people who live here, is that The in-between is to be avoided because it is dangerous and unpredictable, but it is there. And
another question.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm doing my best over here to explain stuff.
Is there still a lot of drow in Volinar, or has that collapsed?
No, there's a lot of drow in Volinar still.
Okay.
There are a lot of drow in a lot of surface cities at this point, but Volinar is still like the epicenter of cultural integration.
Good to know.
This is mostly handled directly between the drow and Claire. Any other ambassadors would be either directly working for Claire or would have been people either part of the Voice of Change or those that the Voice of Change influenced during their time here in the city. So yes, the short answer is yes, there are drow here that did not collapse.
Good.
But I did want to just give a quick explainer on what the in-between was, because it's going to come up now. Your assignment is going to be transport of a prisoner, not a guard. This is a person wanted to stand trial in Umberlight. So we are going to need to collect them from the retrieval team, who were able to pick him up last night. And you're going to transit him the rest of the way to meet with the drow from Umberlight. There is an incomplete tunnel in Sector H. That is where you'll be meeting them. Now, I believe that this is good because it takes you away from most of the surface guard patrols, but, and I want to stress this very significantly, if you see a guard patrol from the surface, you are to turn around and find another way to get where you want to go. We cannot have another incident with them. And they're going to be on edge, because they just lost 3 people. To us, as far as they're concerned. Royal us, the underground. So you thought they were assholes yesterday, Morrigan? It's going to be worse. So, please, stay away from them. Stay out of their way. Do not give them any reason to come and question you or stop you. You see them, you find another tunnel. You walk casual, but you walk quick.
Affirmative.
Good. These are my orders for today. You are going to go to this place. She's going to, again, slide a piece of paper across for Desmin. It's going to describe the spot in the in-between where you're going to be collecting this man from the retrieval team. And it's going to describe where you are taking him to in Sector H, an incomplete tunnel that was project put on hold as it broke through into the Underdark. It should be a simple escort mission, but it is imperative that this man makes it to the drow alive. It will look very bad for us if we deliver them a corpse or nothing at all. They are trusting us. They mostly only deal with Claire. We want to show them that they have other allies here. Is that clear, all of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we know if it's safe from the rats, or has there been an investigation on that front?
It has only been about 14 hours. I do not have any new information on these rats, or what drove them from the drains in the sewer. So I can only say to you, please be very careful, but do expect this. If the rats were driven out by something happening in the tunnels once, it could happen again, and there could be another flood of rats. I do hear that the guards and you took care of quite a few, but you know this place is home to hundreds of thousands of the bastards. There will be more.
I nod.
Alright. Let me think. Is there anything else you need to know for this? And the prisoner, again, is probably going to be chatty. My reports from the retrieval team is that he is talkative. I need you to all keep a level head around him. I think that you will probably quickly understand exactly why the Drow want him. But that means that no matter what kind of stupid shit he says to you, you cannot break his teeth.
I imagine she's looking at Morgan when I'm saying that.
She is trying hard to make sure to make contact with everybody, but she is having a difficult time not finding you through most of this.
I give her a cheeky
That's
smile.
Okay.
All teeth. All of his brain cells must be intact when he gets there. We have promised the Drow this. And again,
What about possessions?
he hasn't got any for you to take. We've already taken care of that. The retrieval team will be delivering those. They deserve a rest. They chased him for weeks. Found him in Ebengard. So, when you get there, if the retrieval team says anything to you, all you will say to them is, "Good work. We got it from here."
I nod.
Alright. I think that's all I have time for today. I still have to make arrangements with the city. So, what I want when you get back, good news. I want to hear that the Drow were very happy to receive an intact and still talkative piece of shit. And I want the money. And I want to hear that there are no more dead guards.
We'll do you proud, boss.
Good. Alright, all of you are dismissed. Make me proud.
Am I able to get my manacles back?
She's going to look at you a moment, and this like very guilty expression crosses her face momentarily before she takes a breath, leans over to the side, pulling a drawer out of on the desk and placing a set of manacles on top. As you come forward to take them, you are very quickly aware that these are not your manacles.
You can keep them. Then she just kind of whispers under her breath, "Damn, you're my most comfortable pair."
Are you going to take the replacement manacles?
Nope, she said, clearly, never mind, you can keep them.
Okay. She's going to shrug and put these back. She simply says nothing.
Okay, Tristan, I have one question for you. Would I get time to get a hold of a +1 magic axe before the next
I think that you were going to have Vulcan do that for you, right?
Yeah, well, the thing is, I no longer have the metal to smelt it because I decided not to use the sword.
Oh, really? I thought you were still going to do it.
I mean, I just asked you to bring it to her first. You are here, you can ask her right now.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead. Ask this.
So it came to my attention that the guard yesterday lost a sword.
Indeed. She described it as a gift from Claire Evenhand herself.
Is that so?
She seemed quite attached to it. Really, it might have brought a tear to your eye had you heard her speak of it.
Would you prefer this to be handed back?
Absolutely
found.
not.
She looked visibly surprised.
Melt it down. Get rid of it. I don't want anything tying us back to that, and I don't think that we'll be able to implicate anyone else with it.
Well, in that case, good.
I told her that she could check the tunnels for it, but it was likely lost and taken by whoever it was that attacked her. I would like to emphasize that one more time before you go. Whoever else it was that attacked her, because it was not us. The Syndicate would not do that.
Of course. In case you wanted to have a pointer to who the else might be, I suggested she ask you.
Yes, and I appreciate that, Twilight. It is very forward-thinking, which I appreciate. However, I have given it some thought, and I think that, especially given our tight timeline in the days to come, and the suspicion that is going to be cast about us as it is, I don't want to take the risk. I'd rather it simply never be found than us attempt to implicate somebody else with it and have that blow up in our face in some way. Not that I think you would fail, but I don't want to take the risk. And it is my job to assess risk and decide if we will take it or not. So, Morrigan, I wish for you to do something with that sword such that it does not ever see the light of the surface again, or even down here. I don't want it leaving these halls intact.
That will be done.
If you want to hang it on your wall as a trophy, I don't recommend it, but that'd be fitting.
I have an idea of what I could use. I did lose my axe in the scuffle.
I do not need to know the details. In fact, I would prefer not to know the details, because then nobody can ask me what happened. Do with it as you see fit. Make sure it never leaves. In that form. Alright, all of you are dismissed. Get the fuck out of my office.
I leave promptly.
So do I. But in that case, I would need Falcon to do his things.
Yeah. So we can deal with that.
That could be like between. Yeah, that could be like between sessions things.
Yeah. Alright, we'll deal with that later. Alright, so 9:30-ish. That is all we're going to cover for today. You have your next mission. You all leveled up to 6. And we had a bunch of pretty good scenes with the Tiger's Eye. I'm pretty pleased with getting to flesh out her character a little bit. So, yeah. Hopefully everybody had fun. Thank you all for being here. And we will see you next time on Desmond's Creek. Bye, stream.
Bye.
Bye, stream.
Bye, stream.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.